money.
Tina Mitchell here with your Money Chat. In housing news, existing home sales, which measures closing on existing homes, showed that sales were down 5.9% in June at a 4.81 million annualized pace, which was pretty much in line with expectations. This likely measured activity in May and June, including the peak rates that we saw in June. On a year-over-year basis, sales are down 20%, which is leading many in the media to say that we are in a housing recession. But there is a big difference between a housing activity recession, which we are currently in, and a home price recession. Activity has no doubt slowed down, but for a consumer who is buying a home and may be scared by the media headlines, home prices are still being supported by low inventory. And there are signs that demand is still strong if you price your home correctly. Nationwide, inventory increased slightly from 1.2 million to 1.31 million, but a smaller increase than what we've been seeing, possible starting to crest like that we see every year around this time. There is now a 3.3 month supply of homes, which is tight because in most markets, 6 months are considered a balanced market. But if you look at the active listings, there are only 747,000, which means that 43% of the inventory is existing home sales reports is under contract and not truly available. This speaks to demand, as a normal market is 25% of inventory under contract. And while there are reports that some homes are still sitting on the market, if they are priced correctly, they are not. According to Redfin, 44% of homes sold in bidding wars with an average of 3.5 offers in July. While this is lower than the peak of 70% in January, it's still strong. If you look back to 2019, there were only 10% of homes in bidding wars, and we saw what happened after that. There were listings that saw price reductions, but every expert that I speak with is saying the same thing. If the home is priced realistically, it will move. While rates are higher and demand is lower in housing, there are a lack of better options. You have to live somewhere, and we've seen rents elevate. In CoreLogic's June rental index showed that rentals increased moderately slightly on a year-over-year basis from 13.9% to 13.2%, but still remains nearly double that we've seen a year ago and still near record lows. We're going to hear a little bit more of what's really happening in our local market on rents when Corey comes in on his individual interview today. Looking at new construction, home starts in July were down almost 10% to 1.45 million unit pace, which was worse than the 2.5 decline expected. Starts are down 8% year over year. Single family starts, which is most important, were down 10% last month and 916 million unit pace. They are now down 18.5% year over year. The slowing in new construction and supply that we are seeing is going to hurt economic activity, but from a price standpoint, we will see somewhat it being supported. As demand is declining, so is supply. This is very different from the housing bubble, where demand was decreased, but supplying of the homes was significantly increasing. Housing permits, which is the future supply, were down 1% last month at a 1.67 million unit pace, but single family homes were down more significantly, dropping by 4% last month to 928,000 units and 12% year over year. Housing units authorized but not yet started were up 5% from last month and 18% year over year, speaking to the backlog in building. First-time buyers have accounted for 29% of sales, down from 30% in the previous report. Cash buyers accounted for 24% of sales, down from 25%, and investors purchased 14% of the homes, down from 16%. Foreclosures and short sales only account for roughly 1% of all transactions. A takeaway: if you're a seller, price your home correctly. Tina Mitchell, and that is your Money Chat.